I had been married to Sarah for 7 years. It had been the kind of relationship that many envied. Perfect in the eyes of friends, family, and even strangers who looked at us like we were a dream couple. We had 2 kids, Liam, 5, and Chloe, 3, both beautiful and energetic, the perfect additions to our perfect life. But what everyone didn't know, what I didn't know, was that everything I thought I knew about my life was a lie. I first started noticing small things that felt off but were too insignificant to really question. Sarah was always so secretive about certain details of our life. Whenever I walked into a room, she'd quickly hide her phone. If I asked about the kids' birthdays or specific details about their birth, she'd brush it off with some excuse. But it wasn't until one late night, when she was asleep, that my world came crashing down. I found her phone on the nightstand, unlocked from the haze of her slumber. My heart pounded as I picked it up, and something inside me told me I had to look. It was something I never thought I'd do, betray her trust like that, but I had to know the truth. It had to be out there. The text message popped up as soon as I unlocked the screen. It wasn't from any old friend. It was a conversation with a man I didn't know. As I read, the sickening realization settled in. Sarah had been seeing someone else during our marriage. And not just once. She had been involved in a full-blown affair for years. But the worst part wasn't just the affair itself. It was the discovery that Liam and Chloe weren't even mine. She had gotten pregnant by him during our first year of marriage. They had been his kids all along. I couldn't breathe. My hands trembled as I set the phone down, barely able to comprehend what I had just read. The kids weren't mine. Everything I thought I knew about them, about us, was a lie. The love I had for them, the way I held them in my arms every night telling them I would always protect them, it all felt like a sick joke. And Sarah, she had deceived me in a way I never thought anyone could. When she woke up that morning, I couldn't bring myself to speak at first. My anger and confusion boiled inside me, and eventually, the words came out, cold and accusatory. "Are they mine, Sarah?" Her face went pale. Her eyes widened in shock, but she didn't have to say anything. I already knew. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, my voice shaking with a mixture of hurt and fury. She started crying, apologizing, but I couldn't hear it. The betrayal was too deep. She tried to explain how it happened, how she never intended for things to go so far, how she felt trapped and ashamed. But none of it mattered. The trust was broken irreparably, shattered. I wasn't sure who I was more angry at, her, or myself for not seeing the signs earlier. "I'm leaving," I told her. There was no hesitation in my voice, no turning back. I gathered my things, my clothes, and walked out the door without saying another word. For weeks, I didn't speak to her. I didn't want to hear any more apologies or excuses. All I could feel was the emptiness of the life I had lived, the life that had been built on lies. I knew I couldn't let this go. I filed for divorce. I sued her for custody of the kids, though deep down I knew they weren't mine. But I couldn't stand the idea of them growing up thinking everything was fine, pretending like nothing had happened. I wanted justice. I wanted the truth to be known. The court battle was long and messy, but in the end, the truth came to light. It wasn't a story of forgiveness or reconciliation. It was a story of betrayal and the consequences of deception. In the end, I didn't just lose Sarah. I lost everything I had thought I had built, the house, the life, the future we were supposed to share. It was all gone. I didn't stay in touch with Liam and Chloe. They weren't my kids, no matter how much I had loved them, no matter how much they had meant to me. I couldn't keep pretending that they were mine. It felt like I was betraying myself by staying connected. Sarah tried to reach out in the months that followed, asking for forgiveness, promising to fix things, but I never responded. I never came back. The person I had been was gone, and I couldn't go back to that life. I had to rebuild, to figure out who I was without her, without them. I learned the hard way that sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. It destroys everything you thought you knew. But at least now I knew who I was. And I knew that I would never make the mistake of letting someone deceive me like that again. 7 years gone. My family a lie. But in the end, I walked away, never to return.